Welcome back to an edition of Random Videos and Happy Independence Day to all of us. And I think it's a good day to talk about creative independence. If you are from creative field, if you dabble in creativity, then obviously you know what I'm talking about. So to understand creative independence, we have to understand what independence is, and to understand independence, we have to understand what freedom is. So these are all correlated. And before we get going, let's take a look at Ranga. He's fast asleep, and I'm pretty sure that he won't wake up anytime soon, given the boring nature of these videos. So uh, we were talking about creative independence. So let's walk backwards. So what we understand uh, by creative independence is that whatever I say, whatever I think as an individual, that is final. Like there will be no constraints and there will be no restrictions. And if I think that this is creative enough, then this is final. But that's not how creative process works. Most of the time, more often than not, it's a collaborative process. So a lot of adjustments are required there. It's never straightforward. And even a uh, a filmmaker of Christopher Nolan's stature, he will have to do some adjustments. It can't be a linear process. It can't be just I said it, so it can't be like that. So to understand creative independence, you have to understand those constraints. You have to understand that uh, words. If you're a writer, let's start with that. Like if you're a writer, you will have to kind of make your way through design. Your words have to fit in there. You can't be rigid that whatever you written is final. That is creative independence, where you understand that you decided on your own. You understood the game, that it has to be this way. It has to take into consideration others' input. So you see the paradox here. Although you're creative, although you genuinely believe that whatever you thought of or whatever you came up with on any front, you think that it's the best version of you, right? Whatever you thought of. But at the same time, you also understand that most creative works are collaborative in nature, and you have to take into consideration everyone else, and you can't be uh, you know 100% individualistic here. Of course, like there are spaces where you can be, like you are a painter, and then it's a completely different game. I'm talking about us about generic creative spaces where you have to be collaborative. So this creative independence is, it comes with certain what do you say, not roadblocks, but certain demands of its own. So you have to be understanding. So let's step back a bit. So to understand creative independence, you have to understand independence. Like now, this is where you come in. Your independence comes in. Like how independent you are as a thoughtful person. How independent you are. Is your thought genuinely independent? Whatever you're coming up with, obviously there will be some influence of the people that you look up to and all. But whatever you wrote as a final copy, is it genuinely independent? And by that, it's about you, right? It's about whether you understand what is required. That is your independence. If you are the kind of person who goes to chat gpt at a drop of a hat, and then you have to ask yourself whether you're genuinely independent or not. Obviously that's a different ball game altogether, to accept that AI is non-negotiable. It's going to be the part of future. But still, like if you want to understand independence, then you have to ask yourself whether you are truly on your own or not. And now to understand independence, you step back a bit, you have to understand freedom, right? Now, freedom depends on the space that you are in. If it's a space, if it's an agency, if it's an org where uh, there is no vision whatsoever, like they don't really look beyond a certain parameter, then your freedom will also be curtailed. To be truly free, you have to be in a space which looks outward and which understands that where it lacks and where it can work and where it can move forward. So it's like you take one step at a time, and that's how freedom is created. So from freedom you get to independence. Freedom is more of an org thing, where the space is something that is given to you. Independence is something that is your space, where you learn, where you understand, where you keep on growing to reach a stage where whatever you come up with on any front, like I said, on as a writer, as a designer, as a marketeer, or the person who comes up with concepts, anything, that is your space, that is your individual space, that is independence. And then when you work together with others, that's when you test your creative independence. That's when you listen to others. Oh, this person has a good point of view. Oh, this person is not making sense, so I'll rebut it. I'll say it in a very constructive manner, without being snarky, without being negative. So these are the layers that you have to go through to be a very good creator, where you are optimizing yourself, you're optimizing your skills, and at the same time you're learning new things. Because I've understood that creativity, although we keep on saying that it's a very individualistic pursuit, in essence it's a very collaborative process. It's very difficult to do everything on your own. It's always better to work in a team, to listen to others, to understand where you are lacking. Otherwise, you'll end up building a lot of hubris, which is not going to help you at all, neither on a personal side nor on a professional side. So, to be a better version of yourself, you have to understand these distinctions, and words help us understand that, right? So I thought, like, let's talk about this. Although Independence Day is much bigger than this. It's basically the destiny of a nation. But for a nation to prosper, uh, it it depends a lot on individuals like you and me, and all of us basically. So yeah, that was something I thought worth sharing. So we got done with that, and Ranga is still asleep, I think. Yeah, nothing changes on his front. He's constantly asleep. So yeah, have a good day ahead.